Okay, so welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about functions as a service, serverless, Lambda, idle CPU utilization. So this metric that we're going to be talking about today is not necessarily a metric that is going to be the first thing on your list. You know, you might be looking at throughput, you might be looking at request latency, but idle CPU utilization might not exactly be the first thing on your list. However, if you're creating the next new great Lambda runtime or function as a service runtime, it is something that you're going to be wanting to pay attention to. Why? Well, let's say you are making a new Lambda runtime and you choose Firecracker because that's what Lambda did. And then you choose Unikernels because you're like, why not? Well, so one of the next things you're going to want to look at is how many functions or how many tenant workloads can I stuff onto the server, and especially when they're not being ran. And so this is an important point because you want to like run them as soon as you have to, but you don't necessarily want them sitting there wasting CPU when they're not running. This is where the concept of idle CPU utilization actually comes in. We were looking at this in Nanos recently, and we made a few tweaks here and there, and we just kind of like blew this number out of the water. So yeah, let's just jump into it so you can kind of see the raw numbers. So I have two Firecracker configs here. One is pointed at 01.51 kernel. So that's like the latest release that we have. And then I have this this image called G. I'm very creative at naming. If we look at the other one, we have GN. So that ends for nightly. It's not really a nightly, but that's where I stuffed my build. So I just stuffed it nightly. And then my new image is GN. And this was just so I could kind of, tell apart what these things were. So this is the same server that you see in all my little tutorials. That's what got built. And so we're going to use perf to kind of look at the instruction count. So let me pull up the first one. I think it's in my history. Here we go. Let's do G first. All right, so I'm going to walk you through this real quick. So perf is what we're using. We're going to use stat. We want to trace the instruction count. So this instructions is specifically what we're interested in. And so the idea is here, like the less that is fired when it's at idle, the better, because it really shouldn't be doing almost anything, right? Now it's going to differ from workload to workload, but in general, that's what you want to be shooting for. This little delay flag basically says wait 15 seconds before you start. So the idea here is that when your instance starts, it does a bunch of crap as soon as it starts, like grabbing IP and standing stuff up and loading libraries, all that good stuff. Then your dash I, this is the interval. So basically we say we want to collect stuff over the span of 1 second. And then the interval count of 100. And then J, we just want to have JSON output. I found it was much easier to look at compared to some of the other options. And then is dash and then our command. So, basically calling firecracker, config file G JSON, no API. All right, so we pop this guy up, and like I said, we got this 15-second delay before it's going to start outputting, and then we're going to start seeing some output every second. All right, so there, kicked on. All right, so this is the old stuff, remember? So the unit that we're actually interested in is this counter value, and just look at it. So we're in like the 200s, maybe 199, but generally like 216, 220, bunch of 199. 199 is like the floor, right? So we can just call it 200. There's some other stuff here, but this is the one that we're interested in. So let's call it 200. Let's go ahead and just kill this off. I'm just gonna go kill all these guys. Okay, so it's roughly 200, right? Now let's run it under the stuff that I built. And so we just do a G in. Now there's actually two pull requests that we did this on. One was for our version of LWhip, and that was basically adjusting a few of the timers that didn't need to be dispatched all the time. This one was relatively less. And by the way, our version of LWhip looks nothing like the main. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And then this PR had a little bit more work on it. Anyways, so now this is running. Look at what it's doing. We have 33,000, 33,000, 50,000. So like the low mark looks to be about 33, and then the high mark's about 50. Okay, well that's pretty insane, right? Because that's like way different from our 200s. You know, you can do the math. This is kind of like night and day difference. So what does it mean to you? Well, what it means to you is like, again, if you're embarking on the let's build a new Lambda type of runtime, this is a massive difference, and you can pack a lot more instances on a server because of this, because you're using less CPU. All right, well, quick little show for this one. We will catch you later. Bye.